If you're an activities director, you're going to want to check this app that I vibe coded out. All right, I'm going to show you in a vibe coded app. I vibe coded it in a program called Base 44, which is incredibly cheap, or I think it's got a free trial. Super cool app for activities directors. My name is Zeth. I used to be a social worker working with seniors, and now I help senior serving businesses get the business they deserve. Okay, so I'm jumping in this. This is a vibe coded app. Super proud of it. I'm just going to show you the bells and whistles straight in because I used to work with a lot of activities directors, and I don't think I've ever met one that really loves doing the computer work. I think they did it to connect with seniors and make their lives exponentially better because they're amazing people. So I'm going to show you an app I built for you. If you toggle with me over to the left, I created an app that I'm going to start with the beginning of the journey. If you're an activities director, you probably start with ideas, right? You might have a library of them. In that case, this will be even cooler. But I'm going to go to idea generator section over here in this app, and I'm going to show you how this works. Essentially, we're able to tell AI within the app, and you can go to these AI platforms and just type it in, but if it's all centralized and it uses the same AI engines, why not start here? But you can generate ideas on the fly. Maybe you want spiritual, social, only ideas, but I just regenerated a whole bunch here. It lists them all out here, 6 at a time. You can save it to your archive or you can pass. If you pass, you tell why. If you pass enough of them, it will train the algorithm. If you click save, it trains the algorithm about you do and don't like and stuff like that. Let's say I click on memory lane musical journey and I'm like, yeah, that's a great activity to do. I can click it right in there and it banks it over here in my saved activities. Like I said in the activity generator, you can also not only regenerate ideas that are like only cognitive activities or social, but you can manually create manually create activities as well and put them all in here one by one. I do have an idea because ideas always pop out when I am reviewing these apps of having like a photo taker right here. So you could take a picture of maybe you wrote it down somewhere, or you can copy and paste it from something and it'll auto fill this in. But you can manually create activities, which stores it over here. This is your now bank of activities. What you can do in here is you can edit those activities. You can mark them as successful or not. You can take notes. I also included a voice note, so you can record voice really quick if you don't like typing like the rest of us. Right? So edit the actual activity itself, and then you can mark it as used. Like, for example, here you see on 2/24 today or yesterday, I marked it used twice, rated 3. This one's rated 3, used 3 times. You can essentially like rank them and put how they did in here and add notes to them. So these activities become more robust in your vault back here, right? So that's the first piece of the pie, is like idea generation all in one space. The second piece of the pie is then if you go up to gallery, now you're actually doing the activity or connecting with seniors. Marketers in your communities always want you to take photos, or they're going to be like coming around taking photos, but you are the activities director. You're in the best position to do this sometimes. And so if you're in the middle of activity and you have a wee bit of breathing room, you can keep this app open on your phone, click on gallery, click on capture new right here, ignore these photos. I was testing things out. Don't judge. Click on it. It'll bring up the camera like you see here on your actual device. Even if it's a laptop that has a camera, it will still do it. You snap a photo. It's not loading because I'm using the camera to talk to you. But let's say I'm not going to even respond to that. Let's say I don't actually take a photo. I can actually upload this photo. And let's say I was using my phone and I took photos myself because it was really quick. Apple would click, photo. Then I can just upload it to the app right from my phone, right? Gallery upload. Once that happens in the gallery, it'll put the photos down here. Love this photo. Ignore it. This is a photo of Resident Zeth. It's me. Taken on February 19th, timestamps it. I could put a little description there and it tags residents. You can tag residents within that photo. Come over here, look at this residents. This is me. I'm right here. I've already have a photo consent form on file. So I've marked that. It's got my birthday, my phone number, and my family email address, and some quick tags about maybe personality, things like that. We'll get into HIPAA, just wait. All right, so you did activity, you took a photo, and now you're like, oh my gosh, that's such a good photo. And it automatically connects it to the residents. You can see engaged photos. I was tagged in those, so now it's in my resident profile. And I can go to family updates. And I already started one in draft right here. So just to show you, for example, it automatically attaches the photo and it says well, it's a little cross information. I'm Zeth, so I'm sending information about Zeth, but it's Zeth Owen, to family member, subject, community activity. You could change the subject, a little bit about like an update, a little bit about text. Hey, Sarah, I just wanted to share a joyful update about Zeth, blah, 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 blah. And it automatically signs it. Preview, this is what the email would look like. And remember, all you've done is generated the idea, looks good, execute the activity, took a photo, tagged that resident in that photo. It automatically recognizes them if there's photos in the past. And and then we go to draft a family update. It creates all of this for you. You might want to edit this description if it's not accurate, but it starts by trying to describe the photo. I edited this because that's just how I did it. There's the preview of the email, cute looking thing, and you can send it now right to the family so they can have an update about their family member. Talk about like family communication improvement and stickiness to your community. This is probably how you get positive reviews. But we're not done yet. The family now has an update. Well, activities directors also spend a ton of time building calendars. So this saved activities vault, maybe this came from the idea generator, or maybe you manually entered them, but it vaults it right here of all your saved activities. Well, you can go to your calendar and you can automatically pull those into any day you want, right? Maybe I want this for 3 p.m. and it might have an end time of 3:45 p.m. Fantastic. Locations, special instructions, if I want, I suppose. There you go. Added the event right there. Maybe you want to do another one. Click on add the event. Just drag and drop this calendar of all your already saved and researched for you activities. Incredible. And like I said, you can make notes and rate those activities so you can rank them and whole 9 yards. There you go. And then the activity February calendar is built after you've done it. Well, maybe you want to print preview. Wow, nice. Here's a virtual preview that can be embedded on a website. Here's the print preview that can be printed right away. It's got a second page there. Just the first page is needed. Print to PDF. Boom, all done. Incredible. You can make your calendar and activities all in one single place. But wait, there's more. There's more in the fact that this is a vibe coded app. You can change it at any time and you can add bells and whistles on the fly. It's impressive. Software is no longer a static thing. You just ask, if you took this app and you ran with it, you could be like, hey, Zeth, I would really like to have AI do this, or maybe I want to have AI analyze the photos, blah, 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 blah. So there's just a ton of bells and whistles that you can add to this. I'm already thinking of them as I'm doing this video. If you're an executive director or someone in charge of managing different activity directors, I've got this space for you. Command Center, you can have all your communities right here. You can be the admin, they can be users, and they can be assigned to a community. Here's the users right here and their assignments. This is Zeth. I'm an admin. I'm automatically assigned to everything. But let's say I was a user or an activities director and I was at this facility, Sunrise Senior Living. I can assign them and they only see that. That's their only section. I have an executive dashboard so I can see how often my activities directors are actually using the apps to take pictures. Are they engaged with it? Also, this is crazy. I'll say that in a second. Or joyful updates sent. How many times are they sending it to family members? Kind of keep an eye on, like, how often is this app used? Ghost list. This is a really interesting one because if you have all your residents in here, then it can tell, this program can actually tell what residents are not ever participating in any of this, and it can flag them as uninvolved. There might be a reason for that in many places, but there might not. Maybe there's just some oversight happening. Great little insight for better care. All right, again, executive directors have setting controls. This isn't fully built out because we haven't launched it and tested it yet. This is more of a beta app. But once it is, we'll have settings in here to be able to turn on and off different things if you want. And maybe one of the most important parts, especially if you're looking at this for activities directors or looking at creating something like this, is really making sure everything's HIPAA compliant. Having pictures on your phone is not HIPAA compliant. So that's why adding an app to be that middleman so that you don't store personal pictures on your phone is a huge benefit. So de-identified profiles, right? These profiles, these resident profiles, you put in name, birthday without year, and you put in disclosure, signed, photo consent, yes or no, and family email. All that information is hashed in the background. This is where it gets really cool because it does talk about digital hash, is that when you take a photo within the app or you upload a photo, it takes that photo and it turns it into a string of numbers called a hash, right? Hash of numbers, just a big long string of numbers. And if a resident is tagged, it tags that hash with that profile, and it just looks to match those numbers in the future. So if you got hacked, which is what you're preventing, being HIPAA compliant, but if you got hacked and they got in there, all they will see is a bunch of hash numbers and tables. They won't see identifiable information. So that's how that works. End-to-end encryption is built into the app itself. Consent guardrails, super cool. This app also, if you take a picture of like 5 residents and 2 of them don't have disclosures for photos, then it will actually recognize those if they have photos in them, or if they don't have photos. They'll recognize that they don't have photos and consent, especially if they're tagged, and it will blur out their faces. Super cool. And then zero knowledge sync, right? So this is if you're recording video or audio and you upload it. It essentially transcribes it into text and then purges it. Privacy blur toggle, you can toggle this to be very strict about blurring all faces in a community gallery or something. That would be like going nuclear, right? But that is also a feature. Security activity logs and a compliance certificate, because we have experience within this field. That was a long video, but I really wanted to show you essentially how you can create custom solutions. Especially that's what we're doing within the senior serving niche, custom solutions that are going to save your staff time, going to save them energy, so they can divert time and energy to what is going to make the biggest impact, which is that human to human connection. Super cool. Not even fully, like, there's still more bells and whistles to add to it. But I wanted to give you an overview of all this because the world's changing and we're really diving into it, and there's a lot of potential. Thanks for sticking with me. Let me know if you have any other features. Do you have features that would be cool? Are you an activities director? It'd be cool to see what kind of features you'd add to this. Throw me your questions or comments. I would love to hear it. Bye.